Hey, what's up, guys? So in today's coaching video, I'm taking you through the squat exercise, one of the most common, or if not the most common exercise that whether you're just starting out or you've been training for some time, you're probably doing in some variation, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, you do it every single day in our day-to-day living, whether we're standing up out of a chair, sitting back down in the chair, in the couch, getting out of the car. That's an example of some type of hinging or squatting going on. So it is an important exercise that we should be training. Again, understanding that we are all at different ability levels. We all have different limitations or different injuries, if you would. So I get it. So this video is not about saying that you should prescribe to one specific type of squat. At the end of the day, what I want to just show you is basically the basic mechanics of it, and then give you 3 different types of squats that you can plug into your training. Understanding that there's so many types out there. Okay, I'm just giving you 3. And lastly, what I would say is understand that I'm just giving you the mechanics of the squat based on how I coach it up. I understand, just like the different exercises, there's different ways it can be coached up. Okay, so just get that, understand that from the jump. So getting into it, one of the common things that I see people struggle with when we talk about the squat is the mechanics, because it's not built into their patterns, their pattern of movement. Okay, so one of the ways that we like coaching up the squat with someone who's just beginning is we have them stand roughly about shoulder width apart. Or another way that you can do it is, if you're just starting out, if you jump up in the air, and you don't have to jump high, but if you just jump, your feet will naturally land where you should be, or where your body position should be to safely deal with that fall or with that jump load. Okay, so that was one way that I was taught as well. And again, most people struggle with where to stand. We want to stand roughly about shoulder width apart. Okay, so when we coach up the squat, one of the ways that we build a pattern into people is we start by having them hinge their hips back, and this is actually hard for them to comprehend a lot of times because it's not built into their system. So what we always say is soften the knees a little bit. You'll see people straighten their legs. We want to soften the knees a little bit, and then what we want to do is we want to basically, like, imagine like I'm cutting you in half or punching you in the stomach. And at the same time, your hips are going to shoot out. This is the hinge that we talk about, okay? So your hips shoot out. Now, we don't want to collapse the chest, okay? But what we do want to do is we want to keep that chest up. So we want to hinge. Now, from this position, what we ask people to do is basically let their sit down, like if they're going to sit into a chair. So ideally, we want to get them to this position here, to 90 degree. Now, understand that especially if you're just starting, you may lack some mobility. Okay, you may lack the ability to get to that 90 degree, which is completely normal, because a lot of times what will happen is you go lower, people's chests will start to cave. And this is an indication of like a weak core. There's a lack of support here, or even a lack of mobility in the hips or in the ankles. Okay, so typically what we'll see is when we have someone sit, they'll sit down as far as they can go, which is typically around the 3/4 of a squat, and then the mechanics will start to fade away. And that's fine. So what we want to do is we want to sit until we maintain the correct mechanics, if you would, but we don't want to work past that. So we don't want to build bad habits and say that we're squatting, we're going all the way down for the sake of just going all the way down, because all we're doing is we're reinforcing bad habits. We don't want that. Instead, what we want to do is, if your 3/4 squat is as far as you can go while maintaining correct position of the spine, notice my back is straight, my chest is up, my feet are flat, I'm driving through the center of my feet or in the back of my heels. I'm not on my tippy toe, if you can see that there, my apology. So I'm not coming on my tippy toes. So all my mechanics are good. If this is as far as I can go, I'm going to continue to go and make that my squat until over the course of time, my mechanics and my strength and my core become stronger, and I'm able to progress down even further, again, still maintaining correct alignment, correct mechanics of the squat. Now, you see me grabbing onto this post. One of the things that we do is we provide people with some type of support component if they are struggling to maintain that position even on the 3/4. So this is where a post or a suspension strap or something that can give you some support will come into play. And all you simply do, especially if you're just starting out, is you don't want to just grab it, but just use it as a support element, knowing that it's there. And we want to start by breaking those hips again, and then we want to sit down and we're holding on. Okay, and we're reinforcing good habits and mechanics. Okay, come all the way up. When we stand all the way up on the squat, you want to make sure you're driving straight through both feet evenly, and those hips come all the way forward. We don't want to leave them tucked back here. You want to bring them all the way forward, and we're squeezing the glutes, we're squeezing the hamstrings, and we're squeezing our quads. Okay, so again, here, I'm driving. This is my support element. If that's as far as I can go, Then I come up and I squeeze, 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 and then I return back down. Now, over the course of time, you can start taking it lower and you'll start feeling a lot more mobile. You'll start feeling a lot more tension in your body because the range of motion is increasing, which means you have to labor a little bit more than when you first started and you were only going this high, okay? So that's the squat mechanics, the progressions, especially if you're just starting out. Again, shoulder width apart, abs tight, hinge, break the hips by shooting them back, sitting into the chair, go down as far as you can by making sure that the chest does not collapse forward, your toes or your heels are not coming off the ground, and you're driving the weight of your body through the center or through the back of the heels, and then returning it standing straight up with the hips coming all the way forward. All right, if you have any questions, comment below or wherever you're seeing this at, and make it happen.